This story all started one day when I was in middle school. I had to tinker real bad, you know. So I raised my hand. And asked the teacher if I could go use the bathroom. And she said, "No, you can't. You have to wait 20 minutes. You know the rules." I was very upset, but I sat back down and I drew a picture. It was a picture of the teacher, and she was peeing all over herself. Well, she called me. She says, "Eric," that's my name, Eric. And I says, "Yes, teacher." She says, "What are you drawing? Bring that up here." So I take the picture up to her. Knew I was in trouble. She was peeing on herself, but I gave it to her, and she said, "What is this? Oh, is this a stick figure with water coming out of it? What is this?" And she made me take art classes. Anyways, I took art classes for about 5 years, and I got a scholarship to go to college for art. So I would just like to thank my teacher. I would like to say, "Teacher, I would like to meet you again." This story begins when I signed into Twitter one day, and someone had sent me about 12 direct messages. So I go check my email and see who it was, and it was this cute chick that I had liked from one of my classes. So I asked her out on a date, and she wanted to go out to eat. So we went out to eat, and when we got the bill, she didn't even attempt to pay for any of it. And this was a pretty nice restaurant we went to. I would say it was about $110 just for me and her to eat. And she didn't even try to pay once. Anyways, I drove her home knowing I was gonna get some booty tonight, you know. But we get to her house, she doesn't even kiss me on the cheek. She gets out and she says in a weird voice,
"Thank you so much for dinner. I'll see you later."
She cut a huge fart, and then she slammed the door right in my face. I tell you what, I was pretty upset. So crazy lady who farted in my face. I'd probably still date you if you let me. But until you return my calls, let's not meet again. One time when I was a little kid, I was about 8 years old, I was in the park playing, and I was just running and jumping, you know what little kids do. Anyways, I went over to the jungle gym, and there was a bigger boy on it, and he was like, "I'm not moving." And I said, "That's fine, we can play together, I don't even care." So I'm playing on the jungle gym, and I'm climbing, and I look up, and my mouth is wide open when I look up, and wouldn't you know it, right when I look up, with my mouth wide open, he spitting a big nasty loogie right down into my mouth. It went right in me, and I was like, ugh. I was crying. I went running to my mama, I was crying, and I spit back at him, but I don't think I hit him, and I went home crying, and I stayed in, and I didn't go out for 2 weeks after that. So, Mr. Jungle Jim spit in my mouth, man. Let's never meet again. Now this story is passed down from my mom. She swears it's true, so I believe her. She says when I was just a little baby, my father, he says he going out for a pack of cigarettes. And she says, "Okay, dear." And he leaves, but he never came back. I'm 24 years old now, and I don't know if I've ever seen his face once. But my mom says he was a piece of garbage, and I feel bad about it. So, Dad, let's not meet again, unless you want to meet again, and then, because I've never met you. Yeah, maybe we could meet again. One time, when I was 15, me and my family went camping in the mountains of America. We took all precautions and provisions, but we didn't know there would be alligators by the lake and pond areas. It was kind of a swamp. But anyways, where we were staying, the alligators were all around. Well, actually, we didn't actually come near them, but we were far away from them. But Mr. Alligator, let's never meet again. Oh no, no one may read this story, but if you happen to read this forum, I really appreciate it. It happened about a year ago. I was on the dark web, they call the deep web. I thought I was just so smart. I just thought I knew everything, but I didn't. So I go on the deep web and I'm eating spaghetti, because I like to eat spaghetti when I look at, gory stuff. And I'm looking up murder videos. And I never thought that the murder video would be real. So I'm eating my spaghetti, and then the person shot themselves on the video. And I know in real life that's how, when you really die, that's what really happens. You shot yourself, and you pass yourself if you have anything in your bladder, So I saw that as I'm eating my spaghetti, and I started to cry a little bit, and I got really scared, because this was all real. I thought it was all just a big game and fake, but it was real. So I tried to turn my pooter off, right? I said click, and it didn't go off. It just beep. And then the webcam, the light came on the webcam, and then the message popped up. It said, I'll see you. I'ma come get you next. And I says, you're sick, disgusting people. I sent that to him, and I regret it. I shouldn't have put that, but I did. And they said, we're gonna kill you for that. And I was so scared. But somehow they haven't gotten me yet. But on my Facebook page, it was hacked, and there was a bunch of penises, big black men's penises on the Facebook. Someone put under my name, like, I like big black penis. I don't. It's bullocks. I don't like it. So I told all my friends to unfriend me, because that's bull. I do not like it. Anyways, as of today, I'm safe. But I'm trying to tell anybody who will listen, don't go on the deep web. It's not worth it. It's not worth your life. Please listen. And the poster never posted no more after that. Except for one post about the original poster having kittens for sale. But other than that, no one has heard or seen the original poster. When I was about 16, I had this class with this really beautiful teacher. She had some really big knockers, and her butt looked like you just wanted to lick it, if you know what I'm saying. I think I still love her till today. Anyways, I was a stupid little kid, and one day she kept me after school, and she says, so have you been a bad boy as I'm doing my work? And I just put my head up and I look at her and I says, what? And she pulls her dress up where I can see her knickers. Anyways, I pitch in mad tent, of course, and I says, I've been trying to be a good boy. And she says, won't you tell me about how bad of a boy you've been? As her finger goes up her body and starts touching on her boobies. Oh, I couldn't believe it. I splooged all over myself, and I just ran out of the room. Anyways, I didn't show up for class for like a week after that. Thinking back on it now, though, I feel like a big homo, because my teacher, she was just trying to help me, by letting me, experience, boning her out, But I was too young and stupid, and I didn't know. I'm so sorry, Miss Teacher. So to my teacher, who I didn't bone at one time and I avoided the rest of the year, I'm really sorry. I would still bone you, even though you're about 50 or 60 years old now. If you hear this, let's definitely meet again. This whole story all started on Omegle. Some beautiful girl had messaged me, said her name was Brooke, and she sent me some pictures, and her butt looked like Jennifer Lopez. I gotta be honest, I fapped all day to her pictures. She said she wanted to meet me and gave me the address to her house. But I'm only a skinny 18-year-old boy, and I was scared. Something didn't feel right, but she sent more pictures, and I had to meet her. So I went alone, but it wasn't her house. It was an old abandoned building. And I walk in the building. I walk in the first door I see, but it turns out Brooke wasn't in there. It was a big scary man. As soon as I saw him, I tried to run, but he caught me before I could leave. And he threw me on a table, threw me on my stomach. He bent me over and he pulled down my pants. But right then, a security guard showed up and saved me. The security guard said to the crazy guy on me, "You get off of him. What are you up to?" So, if it wasn't for that security guard, I don't know what would have happened. I probably would have got raped. So, Mr. Bend me over and pull my pants down, man. Let's never meet again. One time when I was a little kid, I had major psychological problems because I was in the playground one time playing and a bigger kid spit right in my mouth, and it was very traumatic to me, you know. Anyways, this is an update to that story, and I would just like to let everyone know that the man who spit in my face, I had sex with his sister a couple years later. Oh, and she was a white girl, and she was so pretty. Oh my god, I still remember. Anyways, Mr. Jungle Jim spit in my face, man. I got the last laugh because I had sex with your sister, and I didn't pull out either. But she didn't get pregnant though, but I wish she would have. But that would have been an even bigger burn on you. So we can meet again if you want. I don't even care. Whatever. This past year, we had a Pokemon tournament in the big city, you know. So I went to it, and I didn't place, but I tried my best, you know. Anyways, I had to take the bus home from the big city. I get on the bus. I sit down, you know. I'm only 17-year-old boy, you know, but my mama let me go alone. So I sits down, and this girl, she keeps looking at me, just staring at me, and like smiling, you know, and like she's really pretty if I don't say so myself. But I was just like, why she keep staring, you know? What does she want from me? Why she keep staring? I look back at her, and she starts staring at my private parts and licking her lips. But I got scared. Why is she staring at my private parts? Why is she licking her lips? I was thinking to myself, I better get off on the next stop. The bus was taking forever though. I tried not looking scared, and I tried not to look over at her, but I happened to glance over. And she was licking her finger, and then she started pushing her finger into her mouth and like into her throat, you know, all the way in and then out again. So I thought to myself, she must be on drugs or out of her mind. I don't know what she wanted, but I had to get home to my mama and check in, you know. If anyone reading this knows what she could have wanted, please let me know. This story is why I don't like to leave my house. The world is a scary place. A few years ago, me and my two best friends went on a camping trip, and we went deep into the woods to camp for the weekend. We bought 2 kegs of beer, about 10 bottles of various hard liquor, and also a bunch of weed and K2. We got so wasted drunk the first night, we didn't even remember anything. But when we had awoke the next morning, all of our alcohol and drugs were gone, along with my Jeep and also all of our clothes. Whoever did this left us all naked, and Mike said his butthole really hurt. We reported it to the cops, but they never found my Jeep, just like they never found Mike's virginity. Me and my friends still hang out, but we never talk about that weekend we went camping. So I was online one time, and this girl with a big fat nice arse messaged me on Facebook. So this girl says she's bored, and she asked me what I'm doing. I said I was watching Netflix, about to go to sleep. And I asked her if she wanted to come over and watch Netflix with me. She said she did want to come over and watch Netflix. But when she got here, I realized she really lied. Because she didn't want to come over and watch Netflix. She just wanted to come over and have sex. So we did. And it was good. So, Mr. Facebook Creator, thank you for that. The Deep Web Part 2 by Lazy Masquerade. I never would have believed it. It's all real, but I didn't believe it. You couldn't have told me it was real. I would have never believed you. But let me start at the beginning. Like I said, I never believed in those deep web videos and I didn't think they was real. But one day my best friend at school told me about some stuff he saw on the deep webs and he invited me to come over. So I went over there after school and he showed me a video of a man getting penetrated by a horse. He said the man in the video later died of internal injuries. I would have never believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. That poor man took at least 3 feet of horse cock. The man was like a human love glove, you know? And for your information, a love glove is like a plastic sex toy that men put on their Jolly Roger, you know? And I never would have thought it was possible, but it's so real. I was such a stupid idiot wanker for thinking it wasn't real. I wish I could go back in time and kick myself in the bullocks for thinking it wasn't real for 1 second. So, Mr. Horse who killed a man with his cock, let's never meet again. This story is called The Doll by the GloomyHouse. This is a story about the doll that made my life a living hell. One day the doll came for me in the mail. I opened the box up. The return address said Loverboy on it. When I opened the box up, the doll said Anastasia on the front pocket. And I didn't think too much about it until about a week later when my mom came to me and she says, "Did you order hundreds of dollars in homosexual pornography off of the Dish networks?" And I says, "No, mother, I did not order none of that. I do not know what you're even talking about." She says she does not believe me, of course. I did not think too much about it. I had to pay my mother back. I didn't even watch any porn or nothing. So I come home from work one day about a week later and the doll is sitting on couch watching TV. And I was like, what is going on? Why is the doll sitting on the couch watching the TVs? It freaked me out. So I put the doll back in my closet. And then I come home from work next day and the doll sitting back on couch watching TV. I really confused. I asked my mother if she moved it. She said no, she no move it. But I think the most dramatic part has to be when they all go on Grindr, which is a website for homosexuals to meet up. And when he went on the Grindr and created an account using my name and my picture and all of my informations, that was the most dramatic thing that happened. Because once a man showed up at my front door, when I answered, he asked if we are still going to lick each other's butthole out like we had agreed online. And that's how I found out the doll had used all of my information to create profiles on the Grindr's websites. The man told me all about it, and he said that I had offered him all the sexes on the Grindr's websites. But I assure him I did not offer him. And the other day, I went to the grocery store, and over the loudspeakers, it says, my name, which is Boris. It says, Boris, your custom-made 20-inch dildo is ready at the front. I was so embarrassed that I just ran out the front. as quick as I could. I think I may actually starting to dating the men just to get the dolls to leave me alone. I've heard of haunted dolls, but I have never heard of haunted homosexual dolls. I hope someone out there reads this and can help. This story all started when I had to go out of town for a week on a business trip for my stupid job. You see, I had entered a contest every week for years, I don't even remember how long, and it's called the Publisher Clearinghouse Contest. And if you win, they come to your front door with a big check and cameras and balloons and whatnot. Anyways, wouldn't you know it, the week I went out of town for my stupid accounting job, my neighbor said, them people, Publisher Clearinghouse people, they stopped by my house. They was knocking on my door. So when I get home, I wrote them and told them I was out of town on business for my stupid job. But they didn't believe me, cause nobody had answered the door the whole week. They said they came by 3 times, 3 different days, and I wasn't there, and nobody answered. So they said I violated the rules by saying I lived somewhere I didn't. So anyways, I blamed my boss. So I put my penis in his coffee for a year or until he found out and fired me. So Mr. Boss, who made me lose out on millions of dollars, let's never meet again.